Welcome back to CIA Declassified, the broadcast dedicated to dissecting the classified documents that reveal how intelligence agencies turn the most private, fundamental human experiences into tools for espionage and control. Today, we abandon the algorithmic prediction of consciousness and turn our focus to the complete absence of conscious thought, sleep. We address the chilling fact that U.S. intelligence explored the possibility of using the sleeping state, the mind's most vulnerable condition, as a window for deep-level behavioral conditioning and manipulation. We are analyzing the CIA's involvement in subliminal audio and dream infiltration, treating the subconscious mind as a blank canvas upon which new memories, commands, or belief systems could be written. Our primary evidence is the declassified file CIA-RDP88-00267R000100020005-4. This profoundly disturbing report is titled "The Subconscious as a Battlefield and Directed Behavioral Conditioning." End quote. It confirms that resources were tasked with evaluating the neurophysiological and acoustical requirements necessary to introduce complex, highly specific behavioral commands into the memory centers of the brain while the subject was in various stages of sleep, particularly during rapid eye movement. The context here is the ultimate covert operation, conditioning the adversary without their knowledge. If an operative can be given a complex command, a trigger phrase, a memory to forget, or a new motive while they sleep, the resulting action is untraceable to any external source and appears to the subject as their own genuine thought or decision. The file's existence confirms that the sleeping mind was viewed as a strategic weakness that required technological exploitation through radical psychoacoustical techniques. The analysis focuses on two primary areas: psychoacoustical masking for stealth delivery and targeted conditioning for installing or altering specific commands. Let's drill down into the rigorous scientific methodology documented in this file. The analysts demanded a path to reliable conditioning by utilizing the unique neuroplasticity of the brain during the dream state. The file required an intense focus on REM sleep and memory consolidation. Research confirmed that during REM, the brain actively consolidates short-term memories into long-term storage, making it the prime window for introducing synthetic memories or behavioral commands. The goal was to align the subliminal audio delivery with the peak periods of neuroplastic activity, ensuring the new data was filed as an original thought. The key challenge was psychoacoustical masking. The audio could not be perceptible to the conscious ear, or it would trigger wakefulness and conscious resistance. The document details the use of carefully filtered ultra-low or ultra-high frequency audio waves, often layered beneath the broadband white or pink noise, that could be heard by the non-conscious auditory processing centers, but not by the waking mind. The document includes technical specifications for establishing command installation success rates, the percentage of subjects who followed a specific post-hypnotic or post-subliminal command after being exposed to the audio during sleep. This confirms the research was purely outcome-driven. Crucially, the file dedicated an entire section to memory alteration. This goes beyond installing new commands. It involved using the same techniques to suggest that a subject forget a specific event or replace a genuine memory with a fabricated one, effectively rewriting their personal history. We must now examine the primary finding: the agency's assessment of the program's potential. This is a critical excerpt regarding the confirmation of viability. Quote, "Controlled environment testing confirms that the application of targeted psychoacoustical stimuli during the REM sleep cycle results in measurable, persistent alterations to behavioral inclination and memory recall in a statistically significant percentage of subjects." End quote. And here's another quote from a section discussing operational advantage. Quote, "A command successfully introduced during sleep results in an action perceived by the subject as entirely self-initiated, providing a profound security advantage in the execution of complex, deniable operational maneuvers." End quote. This is the true meaning of the file. It states that the deepest part of your mind are penetrable, penetrable. The agency saw an opportunity to utilize the natural vulnerability of sleep to install Trojan horse commands that would execute upon waking, offering the ultimate form of remote, untraceable behavioral control. The focus shifted from how do we make him act to how do we make him believe it was his idea. We now address the chilling operational implications of this file, the use of dream control in intelligence operations. The most extensive redactions occur in the section titled Mobile Delivery Units for Covert Infiltration and Ethical Assessment of Subject Degradation. This suggests detailed discussions around deploying miniaturized audio devices within the sleep environment of targets, e.g. embedding them in walls, alarm clocks, or even bedding, and the ethical debates surrounding the psychological damage inflicted on subjects whose core memories and free will are compromised. Why redact ethical assessment? Because this section likely documents the acknowledgement that the research constitutes severe psychological warfare and requires justification for the irreversible harm done to the subject's self-identity and autonomy. The concept discussed is the creation of a denial of consciousness weapon. By disrupting the subject's ability to trust their own thoughts or memories, the agency creates deep psychological instability, making them unreliable to their own command structure, or conversely, perfectly reliable to the agency's inserted commands. The file details the requirement for specialized conditioning scripts, precise acoustic sequences, and verbal commands calibrated to the subject's language and known psychological profile to ensure maximum penetration and stability of the inserted material. The strategic weaponization of this research is clear. It is a subconscious control weapon. A state possessing this capability gains the ability to manipulate adversary decisions at the root level, turning the human mind's most vulnerable state, sleep, into a terrifying silent battlefield. We conclude our analysis of this file. The existence and scope of the research confirm that U.S. intelligence treated the subconscious mind as an actionable, high-priority strategic objective. The implication is that the analysis moved into the sphere of applied psychological warfare, seeking to exploit the natural process of sleep and memory for the sake of perpetual intelligence advantage. This research represents the ultimate weaponization of the self. If this documented truth has opened your mind to the technological boundaries explored by those in power, we require your continued support. Like this episode and leave us a detailed 5-star review wherever you listen. This is how the analysis exposes the darkness beneath the surface. Second, share this episode with someone obsessed with subliminal messaging, neurobiology, or the ethics of mind control. We need more sharp minds analyzing these documented facts. Next, we move from the internal sleeping mind to the extreme external limits of physical endurance and asset management. We will analyze the CIA's classified research into sensory deprivation and enhanced interrogation tolerance, the agency's attempt to identify and artificially boost the psychological and physiological ability of human assets to withstand extreme isolation, pain, and sensory overload without compromising critical information. For our next investigation, we'll dissect and analyze CIA document RDP77-004-310-00001-0002-0004-9, a brutal file concerning the limits of human stress and engineered resistance. What were the measured physiological markers for psychological breakdown under extended duress? What pharmaceutical or technological interventions were explored to raise the human threshold for pain and isolation? And what does this reveal about the agency's methodology for creating the ultimate unbreakable agent? Tune in next week, or rather later today, for CIA Declassified, Engineered Resistance, and the Limits of Human Stress. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question what you believe, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.